Med Audio here again, Munich 2024. We are here today with
Mr. Mads Clifford. I am the CEO of Audiovector from Denmark.
beautiful speaker, love it, look amazing. Tell me about it.
Thank you very much. What you're seeing here is a reimagined version of the original Audiovector trapeze from 1979. But the only thing that we kept will be the shape. So we have a shape which is like a trapezoid. So it has no standing waves. It's automatically angled towards the listener. This one is in a Nordic oak veneer, hand veneered cabinet. And this is a three-way speaker consisting of a 12-inch bass driver, handmade by us, a 5-inch mid-range driver taken from a PA configuration and configured by us, and a hand-built air motion transformer based on the Dr. Oscar Heil principles from 1970. And this is open to the rear. And internally, we have an 8-inch bass woofer working isobaric compound with a 12-inch.
Ah, okay. So, internally.
Yeah, internally.
Okay.
That's why this is how we can get a sensitivity of 88 dB. Now we can get a bass pressure like an old Servan Vega.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, this speaker is two things. It's telling the story about the brand, how my father, who is just on his way out the door, started this company in 1979, and also how I took over 10 years ago and make the company a little bit bigger worldwide. Our aim with Audiovector is to stay traditional. We make passive loudspeakers. We build them in Denmark. They are handmade. They're distributed in 60 countries around the world. We work with distributors and dealers on traditional terms. We don't make cheap headphones. We don't make Bluetooth speakers. We keeping it very simple. And we're family owned.
So I know that in Germany the distributor is in Acoustic, right?
Yeah.
And what about the US and UK?
Well, UK we are distributed by a company, brilliant company called Renaissance, led by Mr. John Carroll, who's a very good friend of mine. We have a very, very nice dealer network of beautiful people that likes the brand, that knows about the brand. And US, we're represented in 15, 16 shops at the time. And so far the press is very happy with this one. So, but we're an international company. But as we are going to be alive for the next 45 years, as we have been for 45 years, we're taking it step by step. So we're not aggressive, but we're as professional as we can be.
And I see that you guys just keep the speaker straight because it's angled already in the right position, on the listening position, right?
Exactly. So
doesn't need any toe in or...
No, I wouldn't make any toe in. And if you have a seat in either of these 6 chairs, you would actually find that you're a center of the sound.
Okay.
So this has a great dispersion, but also has a very, very wonderful stereo perspective, and no diffraction from the felt. And so the part of this iconic shape is that it is angled and has no standing waves. So very little need of damping as well. You get a dynamic, very dynamic reproduction.
It looks like it's floating. What is on the base?
I'll show you over here. The plinth is made of 2 pieces of aluminum, which is decoupled between the 2 pieces with these ball bearings. These are carbon steel balls. So they sit together and decouples from the floor. So the mass of the floor don't ever concern the speaker, and the speaker doesn't affect the mass of the floor. And this is a concept which we have developed on the R series, which you can see over there, which is our traditional or classical series. So we work with decouples in more ways. We decouple the plinth. We also decouple the tweeter, only tightening the tweeter with a momentum 3 in small Teflon cages. So this is a floating construction as well. So everything is about making the speaker light to listen to, and easy to drive, and to get as much freedom in the music as possible. So the more you kind of screw everything tight together, the more tight it will listen. So this is the philosophy of all our loudspeakers. You see, crossover parts are made by Duelund in Denmark for us. All speakers come with beautiful machined floor protection units, hand-finished M6 spikes. There is a grounding system in the speaker too. So this cable is connected to the ground pin on the back of the crossover. There's already one in. You can see the third pin in the bottom.
Never saw anything like that.
No, so this plug doesn't take any power. It only takes the ground from the shuko, right? So you can put this in the wall socket, or you could put this in your grounded power box if you want.
Okay, explain for what is the purpose of doing this?
As you have in the loudspeaker. In this case, we have the mid-range, the bass driver, and the internal bass. They're moving. So when they're moving, they are making distortion in the chassis. So when we ground the chassis, we get to take 50% of this trans-induced movement distortion away out through this. And there is I would like to show you the difference after if you like. So this is a grounding concept which we presented to the world with the R3, you can see over there in walnut, 7 years ago. And at first people was a little bit skeptical, but after doing the first A/B demos, they're like, what happens here? So we keep doing it, and in our higher end models, this is something that we offer. All speakers comes with a certificate of ownership signed by my father and myself. Technician fills in the serial number. It's all delivered with the seal. And all model badges are hammered, so you see which technician make the loudspeaker and what is the serial number of each model.
Okay, it will be a limited edition or will stay in production?
No, this will stay in production because it's a historical model. It's a classic model with so much history, and then it has all these new features that we might get to use in the future. One thing which is important just to explain to you, and if I can get your friend over here, there's a switch on the back. This is a damping factor adjustment switch. So if you have a tube amplifier with a low damping factor, there is one setting for that. If you have a small name system or primary system with medium damping factor, there's a switch for that. And if you have a Griffon powerhouse or big monoblock, there's a switch for that.
Okay, so it's changing something in the crossover, right?
It's changing something in the crossover, so it eases the bass or it restrains the bass a little bit depending on the damping factor of the amplifier.
So you can fine-tuning a little bit also.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Retail price?
17,500 euros per pair, packed in a flight case box, one pair in a box, with everything you see here.
Available in 4 finishes, I see?
Available in 4 finishes: white silk, Nordic oak, Italian walnut, and black ash. But we also have a very good connection to one of the best sports car painters in Denmark. So we get to do all kinds of custom colors as well. So are you into a Ferrari red or a Rolls-Royce silver? We can make that exact color for you.
Super. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Big pleasure.
Thank you.
floating shelf for turntable decoupling, and we have an aluminum sheet inside of the furniture to reinforce the structure. Then here we have even these features, which is a fully remote controlled openings, and of course start. And we can do even more. We can cover the flap doors with the acoustic cloth so that the remote controls can be used even if doors are closed. And we can add even some 8 adjustable Teflon feet.
I'm Charles Whitener with Western Electric. I'm CEO. And I'll give you just a brief history of Western Electric, and then Trent will talk to you about the products. Western Electric was founded in 1869. During its early years, Western Electric, of course, was involved in telegraph equipment and then ultimately telephone equipment. And in 1925, Western Electric co-developed the entire sound chain and developed the system you know as talkies or synchronized soundtracks with Warner Brothers. So that was the beginning of the audio industry. And Western Electric was deeply involved in this industry until 1949. And that division of Western Electric was sold off to a group of employees, an ESOP, that you all know today as Altec, or Altec Lansing. In 1992, after I had sold a previous company that I owned called Microdynamics, I've always been an audiophile, but I didn't really know the depth of the technology that Western had developed over the years. And I started looking into this. And I approached AT&T, who at that time still owned Western Electric. But that division, with the breakup of AT&T had gotten smaller. And so I approached American Telephone about the resurrection of the vacuum tube line and the amplifier line. And that project started in 1992. It took us about 5 years to rebuild the two plants. We were actually located at the Western Electric Kansas City Works for about 7 years, and ultimately then moved and built another plant in Huntsville, Alabama, where we served the Marshall Space Flight Center, building tubes for the U.S. government, Department of Defense. And in 2016, we started building a brand new factory in North Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee area. And now we have introduced several new products that Trent will explain.
Thanks, Charles. As Charles mentioned, my name is Trent Suggs. I serve as the sales director. But first, let me thank Mansour and his amazing team for putting this all together. What an event. Great brands and great camaraderie. Thank you, Mansour. So, as you see, Charles developed a state-of-the-art integrated amplifier. The model number is the 91E. Feature sets are pretty unprecedented with built-in phono stage. The circuitry, we use our proprietary circuitry that actually doubles the output of the vacuum tube. So we're able to achieve 20 watts per channel out of typically an 8 to 10 watt Western Electric 300B. So Charles and I started brainstorming, and why not develop additional products? The world wants these and they need these. So we've divisioned out 3 different segments of Western Electric products: the 80 series, the 90 series, and the 100 series, to serve different demographics and different price points for every budget. The first 2 products you'll see here, this is the 85A. I won't speak to the nomenclature, but these are all historically valid numbers. This is why Charles and I have developed these particular numbers. So this is the 85A. This is a headphone amplifier and preamplifier. Fully vacuum tube driven, 1/4 inch and balanced headphone outputs. It will drive any headphone in the world. Vacuum tube preamp outputs, built-in DAC, built-in phono stage as well. So we're very excited about this product. This is again in the 80 series. Projected U.S. retail is $49.99. Its companion is a new amplifier based on the same circuitry in the 91E. This is the 88A. This is again 20 watt single-ended triode amplifier, 0 negative feedback. Of course, no third order harmonics. So as clean a signal as you can possibly build an amplifier. We have both fixed and variable inputs on this amplifier. Auto bias, as we will have in all of our amplifiers in the future. And again, this is a taste of the new Western Electric, if you will. So this is the 80 series, and of course, everyone sees this massive tube. Quick story, I was working on a weekend, and I stumbled across this tube, and I asked Charles, what in the world is this thing? He said, well, that's a Western Electric 308B. And of course, I assumed it was a transmitter tube. No, it's an audio tube. So he told me the story behind it. I won't bore you with that, but I can tell you the story later. So we developed this. This is a single-ended 125 watt single-ended pure Class A amplifier. The world wanted it, we're delivering it. Again, we believe in a single output tap, so we have interchangeable 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 16 and 24 ohm taps that are field replaceable. So we're using an ECC81 to drive our famous 300B, which in turn drives the 308B Western Electric tube. We will manufacture these tubes in our Rossville factory, only for our amplifiers though. The world is welcome to buy as many 300Bs as they would like, but this is a very special tube and a very special product. Super excited about this product. Also, the life expectancy on this massive tube is roughly 25,000 hours. The life expectancy on the 300B is 50,000 hours. So the average listener will never retube their amplifier. So we're very excited about these. Projected ship dates on this is Q4 this year, late Q4 this year. Estimated ship dates on the 80 series is end of Q3, early Q4 of this year. So again, I thank you for your time and experiencing the new Western Electric.
My name's Dan D'Agostino, and again, I have to thank Manser for putting such a wonderful event together, and all of his helpers and people that seem to do such a wonderful job every year, that this room is always crowded with people because it's such a good place to be. I'm here with my chief engineer, Orhan Kaplan, and we have designed a few products for this show. And this is the newest product we have, which is a replacement for the Momentum HD preamp. We call it the C4. It's probably going to have a little different name when we start shipping it in July. But right now, C4, I mean, it's all new circuitry. It's extremely quiet. It's got lots of wonderful features. It can be bought with the DAC, very high level DAC, and streaming. It's got direct access to all the digital inputs. It's got a headphone jack on the front, so you can slide this little door open, and when you close it, you still have a beautiful preamp without a hole in it. So we also have a remote that we designed with this product in mind, because we think that remotes, especially now in the age that every remote is probably Bluetooth, they should talk to each other, and they do talk to each other, but mostly you don't have exactly the same display as you have on the product. Well, this does have that, and it feedbacks, so if you can see the preamp also has numbers for volume, because a lot of people think that they have to play every track at a certain number of volume, so we put it on there. But it's interesting because, as you can see by watching the remote, when I move this, the remote follows it. So when I move the remote, that follows it. So it's and all the inputs and all the functions can be selected from this. It's rechargeable, so the battery lasts about 4 or 5 days. So that's kind of this product. This product is designed by Burhan, myself, and his team. He's the chief guy putting it together and making sure everything works. He's, at this point in my life, my right-hand man. He's been with me for 5 years, and he knows a lot of my secrets, and he keeps using them.
You can guys call me Burdan.
So this is in line with our relentless preamp and some of our new products, where the power is transferred between the power supply through the feet. It's better than a cable, mostly because we can separate the voltage and the signals and things that have to go through it without having them commingled in a cable. which is a very nice thing. Plus, when you drop this on top of the power supply, it's connected. All you have to do is plug it in. So this preamp has many, many features, and it's a complete departure from the HD. We took a lot of cues from it. A lot of people like the HD. I like the HD, but this is another step for sure. The other thing we brought to the show is a little product that we don't have here, but we could walk into the room. Let's do that. Next, then we have progression, and now at the bottom, and not to mean it's a bottom product, it's a good product. It's called the pendulum, and you know, meeting with our time feed. So the pendulum is a design that Burhan and I talked about, but he followed it all the way through and got it to where it is. It's going to retail around $15,000, but it comes complete with the foam state, DAC, streamer, 120 watts of clear, 240 in the field, and it's made to be comfortable. Sit on a bookshelf. It's a complete product. So if you have it, you just have to buy a pair of speakers and a turntable, and you can have a good system. It's an all-new circuitry that we developed, and it's really musical, and it allows us to build this at a price that we couldn't build before. So, Burhan, you want to explain a little more?
Yeah. So
It comes with the same remote.
the pendulum comes with the same remote control. The only base is from the Zerben material. The only material is different. Pendulum integrated has a very high resolution deck inside, 85 dB gain Sonus stage modules inside, and also it makes 120 watts with 8 ohm speakers, and with 4 ohm speakers it makes 240 watts. And also we put two volume knobs. One of them is the right, one of them is the left. The right one controls the volume and mute. The other one, it is controlling power and select input. So very compact design, and also it makes very good performance. I hope you will guys enjoy.
So thank you. The system this year sounds particularly good. I think Mansur's idea of making rooms as opposed to one big room, I think was a wonderful idea. And I think everybody that's exhibiting here really gets to appreciate all that effort. So
Bravo,
thank you.
Mansur.
And we'll be around for questions. And in the future, Burhan will be doing more of this, and I will be doing less. So thank you.
And so our new product is, we have a chassis design showing in our room up on across on E113 in the VTO room next door to Nordost, where it's called a reference 450. So basically it's an 8-tube version of the Siegfried. And it has a precision regulated power supply, and you could say it's like the MB450, but a reference version of the MB450. So it's in a tower. It has the regulator on the back like the reference amps, and it has we got some pressure from our distributors to provide a view of the tubes like you see in this amplifier. The Siegfried, you don't see the tubes behind the front panel, but now we've made this window that you can see the tubes, and it has some additional fault sensing capability and additional layer like the MB450, which has been in our line for a long time as previous sort of iterations of the product, like the MB300 and 250. We've just had this 8-tube version using 6550s in the US mostly and KT88s in Europe and Asia mostly. I'm sorry, the amp's not here. But the chassis, the design is in our room if you'd like to come and see it. And we're playing the S400 there on the Alexia V and the Nordost Odin 2, all of that, and the DCS Rossini and our phono stage 7.5. So thank you again for coming out. That was of interest and use. And next year we'll have the end.
Thank you.
So thank you everybody for coming. Just to echo what the others have said, thank you to Mansur and the whole Audio Reference team for putting on, first of all, a fantastic space, but also this lovely event where we get to show off our products to everybody. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background as to how DCS arrived at manufacturing products that belong in wonderful systems like this. So fundamentally, DCS, much like Audio Reference, are a family company. We've been operating since the 1980s, and we got our start in signal conversion technologies. So originally, DCS was working on radar systems that lived in the Royal Navy's Sea Harrier jump jets. In 1989, one of the founders of DCS, Mike Story, who was a big audiophile, pivoted the company and realized that we could be leveraging the technology that made those radar systems so effective in an audio product. So that led us to launching the DCS 900. So this was the world's very first 24-bit analog to digital converter, and that spawned a number of professional audio products over the years, including a number of world firsts. So DCS were the first to produce a 24-bit analog to digital converter, the first to produce a 24-bit 96K DAC, the first 24-bit 192K DAC, and we've also pioneered a lot of technologies that have been adopted by the wider industry. So formats like DOP, so DSD over PCM, that was invented by Andy McHarg, our technical director. Dual AES, so utilizing twin AES connections for higher sample rates. So there's a very long history of innovation in the audio space. We've been manufacturing consumer audio products since 1996, and since then we've had a very successful run making digital front-end systems. In terms of the range that we have shown in the audio reference space here today, the Vivaldi is our flagship. And it's quite a unique product. So in the digital audio space, it's very rare that you find a product that exists for quite a long time. So when the world shifted away from primarily CD playback, and we started putting network ports on and streaming services came about, it became a very fast-moving marketplace. Where the DCS range is quite unique in the digital space is that we have a very long lifespan of our products, aiming to provide real value to our customers over time. So the Vivaldi range is, I believe, the only product that's won the Stereophile Product of the Year twice. So it won it originally when the Vivaldi was launched in 2012, and then again in 2023 with the Vivaldi Apex version. That's been accompanied by a huge range of software updates to our products. So all DCS products don't feature any third-party chipsets for any of the audio processing within the product. Everything is designed, engineered, coded, and built at our factory in Cambridge. That gives us an enormous level of flexibility within the products. So the Vivaldi line throughout its lifespan has had 25 major updates to the control board that runs the product, and this has brought new features, sound quality improvements, streaming services, and it's let us be very, very agile, I would say, with how that product has maintained its presence at the top of digital audio reproduction. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's a good one, sure.
Okay, welcome. 3 years ago, we were standing here as a totally new brand, and one of our first customers was Audio Reference. And now we are here 3 years later. We're here celebrating Audio Reference 25th anniversary as a distributor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And also thanks to Audio Reference and the team for putting up with Eric and me. It's not the easiest task. When we were here 3 years ago, everybody said, hey, a new speaker brand, you guys are crazy. 3 years later, we have probably rocked the world. We are represented in more than 40 countries. This year at the high end, we are actually presenting the S70 Limited live. Last year we had it as a prototype. Limited edition, we were set to make only 50 pairs. And we are only making 50 pairs. This is exactly number 11 and number 12. And there are 4 pairs to be available in Germany. The rest are sold outside Germany, US and other countries. The limited edition is kind of the conclusion of what Perlisten is. So we have learned a lot since we started. Sometimes when you, in engineering world, you have to stop and actually make the product. So we took the black book and we started to say, what can we do which is epic above the S7T, which has been our reference speakers. So this is the limited edition. In the other room, we have something really crazy. Not only do we have a world premiere of a new subwoofer, which I'm saying it's going to set the standard for what we call in-wall or on-wall subwoofer. It's a massive 80 kilo of dual quattro push-pull technology powered by an external 3000 watt amplifier. So we have that as a prototype over there, but more importantly, maybe we have the world's best home theater set up for you guys. So together with Trinnov, we have partnered up with them, and we are doing a 9.1.6
11.1 or 8, because there's 8 subwoofers.
8 subwoofers.
That's,
yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to keep it short in here because we need to get in there. But I also would like to maybe give this to Eric because this is part of the limited edition. But it's also something which is pretty unique because a week ago we got the official US patent for the DPC array.
Yep. And so, have you noticed a Perlisten speaker? You see this weird alignment, and you may think, oh, someone just throwing more tweeters at a design or something like that. But it's way more intelligent than that. We actually, like Lars said, just got the patents on this. We actually also got one on the in-ceiling, and there's several more in the works. About what we actually do is passive beamforming. So we actually control the directivity in the vertical. Most people can't treat their floors. They don't treat their ceilings. We all have living rooms that are real living rooms. We live in them. That's why they're called living rooms. And so early reflections are sometimes too much, too high, untreatable. But maybe if we do have treatment, we have some in the sidewalls, an example like this, but rarely floor and ceiling. And so these 3 drivers work in unison over a very small band, 1 to 3 kilohertz. But we also, in order to control directivity, need to control time, amplitude, and phase. Time is controlled by distance offset. So this one driver is recessed more than this. I got a time offset. Phase and amplitude is now controlled by crossover. So now I can do cool things like tilt up, tilt down, wherever I might do in a design. I get one choice because it's passive, but I can control the directivity. So this really is the start of it. It's where the patents are. But if you notice the Perlisten speaker, you will always notice symmetry. Tweeter in the middle. Next set of speakers, next set of speakers. Doesn't matter if there's 2 woofers, 4 woofers, if we go more woofers. That symmetry is really important. So if I'm up here at the floor, this is up here, or if it's down here, you have unequal path lengths, cancellation. Equal distance to the ear of the listener, you have summation. So we're reducing energy floor, reducing energy ceiling, and that goes throughout the bandwidth all the way down to 300 hertz. So we control those early reflections all the way down to really low frequencies. And that's really the basis of all of our technology, and there's much more to it, but that's the short version from an engineer, the short version.
Welcome everyone to High End. I hope you're having a good show and you've seen lots of fantastic things. Of course, I'd love to thank Mansur, Mimi, the whole family, Lorenzo and Natalie for a fantastic show, and congratulations on your 25th anniversary. It's fantastic. We're very proud that Meridian has been with Audio Reference for all of that time. We came here last year to launch, to do the whole world reveal of our new reference loudspeaker, the DSP9, shown here and playing throughout the show. They're shown here in a beautiful Aston Martin California Sage green color. These are all handmade in the UK in our factory in Cambridgeshire. And like all of our cabinet loudspeakers are available in any custom finish that customers may like to either fit into their interior style or to stand out, functional piece of sculpture. All Meridian products, all Meridian loudspeakers are DSP digital active loudspeakers. And over the last 7 years, we've worked extremely hard to take all of the knowledge and learnings of Meridian over the 45 years plus that we have been in the market to start again and create new platforms, new hardware, new electronics, new software, new drive units, new cabinet and mechanical construction skills have been developed over the last 7 years. And over the last 3 years, we've brought some new products to market. But today, what I'm really excited to show you, and we will demonstrate to you shortly, is our new true Meridian performance, all new platform, but distilled into a beautiful, easy to use, amazing to listen to compact package. And that is the Meridian Ellipse. So here it is. It's everything that Meridian does and everything that Meridian knows, distilled like a pure spirit, like finest whiskey, into this compact package. This is a DSP, digital active loudspeaker, 2.1 speaker system. In terms of specification performance, it's measured performance from above 20 kilohertz down to 40 hertz. It's a sealed enclosure, 80 watts of power, as I say, 2.1 speaker, and it's streaming for streaming music. So Chromecast, Apple AirPlay, Roon, you name it, Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, everything that you could want to do. It also has hardware inputs on the back, so it's Wi-Fi but also wired Ethernet. It has a USB-C, USB-B, it has an optical and analog input, so everything you could want for your music system distilled into a beautiful, amazing compact package. Very proud to show it to you today and also to demonstrate it to you shortly. Thank you very much on behalf of Meridian Audio. We appreciate your attention.
Good. So, welcome to the demonstration, everybody. I'm David Myrovitz from Trinnov Audio, and very happy to be partnered with Perlisten, and obviously we have Eric from Perlisten. So, I'm just going to talk very quickly about Trinnov, what Trinnov are bringing to the show, and then I'll hand over to Eric to talk about Perlisten. So some of you may be familiar with our waveforming technology. You typically see this in a double bass array type configuration. For the show this year, we've gone with a slightly simplified subwoofer array. So we've got 4 subs at the front in a line array and 4 subs at the rear, which do the catching. Now, the premise of the technology is to rid the room of room modes. Okay, so room modes being interactions that cause cancellations and big peaks. This is the biggest problem we have in home theatre design. It's the hardest problem to overcome. So we're taking that into the active domain with correction via Trinnov Audio. We also control the decay time as well. Okay, so we can decide how much decay we leave in the room. If you want a slightly more lively sound for movies, we can do that. If you want a very dry sound for maybe a music reproduction, we can do that as well. Okay. So just to add, we've got the Altitude 32 running the system here with our Amplitude 16 amplifiers running all the surrounds, and the subs are active from Perlisten.
Yep.
Over to you, Eric.
Yeah, and so as we discussed over there, the same technology exists. We still have the directivity, early reflections, and the passive beamforming. That you can do the same thing as you should in a home theater. As one of our great friends who does world-class home theater designs has said, you allow me to actually treat the room less. If I have fewer reflections, and a reflection will deter where the positioning is in the recording, and but controlling that, reducing some of the energy flow and reflection is actually an improvement, but very wide horizontal. So really what works in the 2-channel world also works in the home theater world. So you see it on every speaker here as well too. As we said, the 4 subs in the front, 4 subs in the back, and the same technology throughout. So let's give it a go. Yeah,
cool. So are we doing the whole reel or just one?
No,
just one clip. Which one do you
Which one do you want to do?
I'm going to blow you away with Midway. So, so obviously, you guys have listened to a lot of 2-channel audio over the last few hours. So I'm going to treat you to some movie content, and this is really what we're trying to show, is that collaboration between the high fidelity audio and the high quality that Perlisten provide with the bass experience that you expect from home theatre. Okay, so enjoy.
My name's Richard Newlove. I'm sorry, I'm really losing my voice already today. I'm the founder of AMINA Technologies. I'd like to thank Monsieur and the team at Audio Reference for inviting us here, actually for the very first time.
Yes.
At this show for us. It's new for us, new for Mansour. But like Mansour, we've been around for 25 years as well.
Oh yeah.
It's our anniversary too. We've been using a technology, utilising a technology that is really very different to what you see around the rest of this exhibition. And that's really something that's based around a natural musical instrument, the violin, the guitar. How do those work? How do those make sound? They're not pistons, they're resonant sound boards. strings. It's not the strings of the guitar makes the sound, otherwise the electric guitar would. It's the soundboard, it's the body of that instrument that makes that sound. And we take that fundamental principle and turn that into a loudspeaker. And actually the product that you'll be able to listen to later, if you stop around and have a listen, is driven by that device there. You can see we actually use modern composite structures instead of timber held stiffly because of its shape, as you would in a guitar or a musical instrument. But that device is set into surfaces such as this timber, could be laminate, could be corian, could be marble even, or of course into surfaces like plaster, plastered over into ceilings and walls. What a natural musical instrument does though is actually create and generate sound in a slightly different way to the conventional piston. It's actually much wider, effectively omnidirectional, and it actually benefits from boundaries because it's a complex energy wave. So anyway, what we have here and what we've been doing for 25 years is a product that's really suitable for that modern living where people want to have lovely buildings, lovely aesthetics,
but want to see the speakers,
but don't want to see those technology, don't want to see grills, don't want to see anything, don't want that disturbance to their aesthetic itself. So perhaps we personify what this exhibition is all about, diversity in audio. I think that's probably, we were at one end of the spectrum there on that. And again, I'd like to thank Mansour for having us here this the exhibition. Thank you. And if you'd like to stick around, have a quick listen, because it is different. It's different acoustically, it's different aesthetically, of course, to most other things you see here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Aki from DS Audio. We are making optical cartridge. Yeah.
Okay. And I found always interesting this LED light. I wanted to understand how it's working, how you have, from where you supply the power.
Optical cartridge technology is we are using LED and photodetector to detect the needle movement. Normally, and MC cartridge using a magnet and coil to detect the movement. We use LED and photodetector to detect the movement. We put the infrared LED inside of the cartridge, and we supply a voltage from the equalizer. This equalizer supplying the 5-volt voltage to the cartridge. And we detecting the shadow movement, brightness. The photodetector is like a solar panel. When shading plate moves, the photodetector getting dark and bright. We're detecting the brightness. So the most important thing is the optical cartridge output is purely analog, not digital. Most of the people misunderstood. The optical cartridge output is digital.
Okay.
The output is purely analog.
So how you convert the light signal in an analog one?
No, just the detecting the brightness. This is purely analog. There is no DA, no AD issue.
Okay.
Yeah. The output is purely analog, and we're still using a needle.
Okay. Because I see this one is with a needle.
This one is without a needle because this is demo unit.
Okay.
This one
is
using a needle.
Okay, all right.
How to use? It's completely same as MC. You need to add the needle pressure.
Yeah.
And after that, you need to adjust lateral and vertical. After that, you put the needle on the vinyl.
Yeah.
How to use? It's completely same as MC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw here an interesting device to stabilize the LP, right?
Yeah.
Is applying pressures also? Or?
Of course, this is a stabilizer, but this one can detect the eccentricity of the vinyl. You can see, this is the eccentricity of the vinyl. You can see the wave. This is the eccentricity.
Okay.
Now we have 280 micron eccentricity.
Yes.
Stop the turntable. After that, you push the vinyl by your hand, this way. After that, now getting much better. Almost flat, right? Now 38. We can adjust a little bit more, but 5 times better than before. There is no wave anymore. So everyone thinks the vinyl rotate exactly right, but normally there is off center. So vinyl moves like this way. This is eccentricity. Always happen that. But this stabilizer can detect the eccentricity and reduce it. So eccentricity makes 10 to 20 times more flat or worse. So if you use a very good turntable, eccentricity makes 10 to 20 times more flat or worse. So which means there is no reason to use very expensive turntable with eccentricity. So you need to remove eccentricity first. Yeah.
And what you achieve with this, with correct this eccentricity in terms of sound quality?
The sound is more open, and you can listen more. The low frequency is more tight and clear, and the sound is more open.
All right.
Because cartridge doesn't move left and right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
My name is Alex Monroe. I'm the brand director at Q Acoustics.
Nice to meet you. I see here a new series. Is the update of the 3030 or the 30 series?
That's correct. It's our latest iteration of our introductory system, and it's called 3000C. The previous one was called 3000i, and before that 3000. So we're staying with what has been very successful 3000 naming. The reason for C is that we have trickled down some technology from the range above, from our 5000 series, called continuous curved cone. So that's where the C comes from. And this is a special cone technology where we have created the best possible compromise between a straight-sided cone and a flared cone. And the reason for doing that is that a flared cone behaves very well at higher frequencies when you're crossing over to the tweeter, but doesn't behave so well with the deep bass. A straight-sided cone is the opposite, and it operates well with deep bass, but breaks up when you're trying to cross it over to the tweeter. So this design, which is a new design, and we think we're the only people who are doing it this way, manages to bring the best of the two together.
And you spoke about new drivers. There is anything new also in the cabinets and the crossover?
Well, the cabinet uses our point-to-point bracing, and that's where we investigate each place in the speaker where the maximum amount of movement is coming from, and we connect it directly to the opposite part of the cabinet in order to minimize that movement. Also, in the largest speaker, which is the 3050C, we have something called a Helmholtz pressure equalizer. And that's because a floor-standing speaker can behave a little bit like an organ pipe, and that means that it has a specific resonance. And we get rid of that by connecting the point of highest pressure with the point of lowest pressure by a hollow pipe. So it's a Helmholtz pressure equalizer, and that's the job that it does.
Okay, super. When it will be available, and anything about retail price?
Will be available in about 3 to 4 months, so that's going to be in around September, and the price starts at about 350 euros for the smallest 3010, and up to about 1100 euros for the larger 3050C.
So we have a very beautiful entry level. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. HiFi ROSE, we are here with.
Hello.
Your name?
I'm Links Park. I'm in charge of international marketing and sales.
Okay, great. What's new in HiFi ROSE?
Our new product, brand new product, is the RD160 deck. As you know, HiFi ROSE's slogan is Beyond Audio. We strive to surpass the traditional limits in all our products. For example, innovative ROSE OS and display in our network devices, or Class AD that has overcome the sonic weaknesses of Class D with dead time at a level of 10%, 1 to 10th, by using GenFET will be a good example of it. Our brand new deck RD160 follows suit. The first notable feature will be the hidden screen. Let's make it hidden. Yeah.
Okay.
So here we have a dimmer so you can control it. Here we have a hidden screen concealed in its sleek design, but once you turn it on, you can see here a flowchart designed like circuit diagram, and then sound wave which moves to when you play music, and also volume curve. Those shows various information intuitively, and at the same time it responds immediately to button and knob. So the purpose of it was to offer the feeling like you are controlling an analog device. So the enjoyment of manipulation, also to the visual satisfaction. Additionally, we are gonna supply more skins, including volumeter as well.
Okay, so let me understand. Here you can select the inputs. We have opticals, PDIF, HDMI, coaxials input, and then we have these are the filter DAC, right?
Yeah, this is digital, this input, and here you can see the sampling rate as well. We have upsampling feature, so it shows it, and then here you can see the clock rather as internal or external, and then the DAC chip. So so that you can see that the signal moves like this.
Okay, what you can change here in the DAC?
DAC you can't change anything.
Nothing. Okay. Okay.
But you need it because this is designed like circuit diagram, and DAC chip is
And during music playing, you will see the sound wave moving, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the volume curve, actually, when you control the volume, it doesn't change like this. It actually changes like this. In low volume, the difference is small. It actually changed like this. And when you adjust the volume, the point will move, and also the numbers will change. So this is the first notable feature. The second, our key feature, is HiFi ROSE's unique CIM architecture. The CIM architecture stands for completely isolated and moduled, where the RD160 modularizes everything possible. It begins with the DAC chip. The DAC module is a two-chip solution. So one chip is dedicated for digital processing, and the other one is dedicated for digital to analog conversion. So it is structurally separated. And then that DAC module is independently allocated in both left and right. So we use two DAC modules. Additionally, the analog circuitry is designed in left and right symmetrical full balanced configuration. And then here we have power supplies. We use 3 power supplies in linear type. They are reference power supplies, we call it. They are also custom designed for each digital input section and left and right analog section. Thus, RD160 results an extremely high signal to noise ratio and dynamic range. So the last feature will be the NRA filter. NRA filter stands for Noise Reduction Analog Filter, and with this filter, the RD160 exhibits a super flat frequency response, even at a very low level like 10 Hertz. It begins like this, not this, without any roll-off. And then at high frequencies, when you go to 50 kilohertz, it reduces only -1 dB, and in 70 kilohertz, very high, ultra high frequency, it reduces only -3 dB. So which means it's super flat without roll-off, and very, very wide. Furthermore, the OP amp, this is an important thing. We use high quality JFET input dual OP amp made by Muses, which utilizes high purity OFC lead frames. The important thing is that we wanted some specific sound, which is a very vibrant, lifelike sound. So from the initial development stage, we tuned together meticulously together with Muses so that we can make that sound. So ultimately, RD160 delivers lifelike, vibrant sound, sound-wise, and extremely low distortion and noise flow modulation. And of course, when paired with our products like RS130 network transport or our amplifiers, the result will be even more pronounced.
So this is a digital volume control, right?
Yes, digital attenuator. So and of course you can turn it off, so bypass.
Okay, you can bypass it. So you basically you can use it also as a preamplifier, right?
Yes, but we won't recommend it.
Okay.
But because it doesn't have any input, so just digital, and of course you can control the volume, but we won't recommend it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
There is something else new or just?
Very important.
Okay.
The next one is our brand new WiiM receiver. Here you can see a module. Here it is. So there are isolated PCB boards. One board is for WiiM receiving, and second is DEC, and the third is for power amplifier module, which is the same module of RA280. So the output is 250 watts. And you can play it by using this WiiM transmitter. And from next year, from our next generation network streaming products, we will implement all this transmitter in our products, which means this is in our product, and if a speaker manufacturer put this in, then the customer needs only the speaker and our network streamer. That's all, wireless.
So basically you can transform a passive speaker in a sort of active speaker, right?
Both. We are making both. First, this module so that you can play passive speaker, and also embedded style so that manufacturers can put it in.
Okay.
So this is actually for now not for customers, but the reason why I'm showing is to let you know the direction where we are going. As mentioned at the beginning, our slogan is Beyond Audio, and we try to make everything more convenient and more easy and more enjoyable to the music lovers, so they can enjoy music in more high resolution, high fidelity.
So it's a prototype.
Yes, it's a prototype.
Okay. And you didn't tell me about the RD160 retail price and when it would be available on the market?
RD160, we are thinking about $5,000 to $6,000 US dollars.
Okay.
And the launching is expected in August.
In August. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you. We are here with WiiM, and we have some launch of new products at the high-end Munich show this year, right?
That's correct, yeah. We have the new WiiM CI range launching at the show as well. So we have a CI amp and a CI streamer. This uses the ESS DAC, and this uses the AKM DAC as well. The amplifier has all the streaming services on board as well, so Spotify, Tidal. But the best thing about this product is it has a Control 4 API as well. So this is the WiiM amp and the WiiM streamer, CI streamer.
Okay, well, what's the difference between this one and the first generations? Maybe I can do it like
the main difference between this product is the software stack. So we have on here now the smart home API now for Control 4.
Okay. And here also?
Yes, this is the same as well. So we have the Control 4 API on this board as well. So, and of course it's for the rack system as well. So we have the holes to the rack, and obviously on this one here we have connect the ears and the brackets for the rack as well, for the 19-inch rack mount.
And when it will be available and the retail price?
The streamer will be available hopefully in the end of June, and this will be probably July, August time.
Retail price, did you mention it?
No launch price
yet. And here we go with a product that everyone was waiting about and speaking about, the new WiiM streamer, right?
Yes, okay, so we've got a completely new development here. It uses a new chipset, and the chipset is now capable of Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.3. And it's got twin antenna as well. The other thing as well, we've got a phono stage on this product now, so which is really interesting for our customers as well. So we can connect directly to record players. The other thing we have now is a sub out and HDMI in. And the other thing is we have the ESS DAC, which is the 038 DAC as well, which is one of the high-end DACs as well. On top of that, now we have a display as well. So we can.
Touchscreen.
So we have a touchscreen display as well. It's not Android; it is Linux-based product. Okay, so it's that's a very important point as well.
Okay. It is one retail price?
The price in Europe would be around €400.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Take care.
Com cabelos cor de mel singela, seu nome é Mabel, é uma menina cheia de vida. Se vamos para a praia, não esquece a sandália e se olha pro céu. Se pudesse organizava a estrela, se a casa está vazia um dia, também vou ficar e te ver crescer. Me faz tão feliz saber que você é você.
Welcome, my name is Avi Kwan and I'm the founder of Impex Records, and I'd like to thank Mansour Mamagani and Audio Reference for inviting me here to be here today.
Today I'd like to discuss the album Gets Gilberto, one of Verve's most successful jazz title of all times. And this album has been reissued over 461 times worldwide in every imaginable format. So when Impex decided to reissue this album for its 60th anniversary, we wanted to make sure that this was the definitive version. It is the only version being done in collaboration with the family and the estate, and it's packed with interesting interviews, historical insights, and also a personal remembrance from Monica Getz. And today I have Stan Getz's son, Nicholas Getz, here today to talk about a little bit about his father's work. But before I introduce Nick, I wanted to mention that Phil Ramone used the original 3-track session tape to make the lacquer disc for the first pressing. No mixed down master ever existed from the first pressing. But with the popularity of the track Girl from Ipanema, in 1964, it completely blew everyone's expectation, especially Verve. And they made a new 2-track all analog mixed down master tape, and that is what is known to everybody as the original analog master tape, and that's the tape that Impex used. So while we were in the mastering facility with Bernie Grumman, my QC director, and Bernie noticed that there were a few sonic flaws on the master tape. We wanted to maintain the integrity of the album by staying all analog, and we decided to avoid using any digital tools or fingerprint to repair the distortion or the distorted artifacts. So what you hear on this album is exactly what you get from the master tape. Without further delay, let me introduce you Nicholas Getz.
Thank you, Amy. Great to be here with you, everybody. I'm a little wonky because I've flown from Los Angeles, so I'll try to make sense here. But before I begin, I want to thank our gracious hosts, Mansour and Mimi of Audio Reference. Thank you for having me. And A.B. Fawn, our partner on this. Just also briefly, the Getzes, we don't do too much self-promotion. We don't like toilet paper commercials and all, you know. We affiliate ourselves with excellence, and A.B. Fawn and Impex Records personify that. So we're very grateful to have collaborated with her to do this. I only have a short amount of time to speak, but I will just tell you a brief story about the making of this album. By the end of the 1950s, my father had been Saxophone Player of the Year by Downbeat magazine 11 years in a row. And I think him and many other musicians in America, they were getting a little sick of them smoking marijuana and getting into trouble with the law. So a lot of them came and lived in Europe. And my father lived with my mother in Copenhagen in the very late 50s. And he suddenly, for the first time in his career, was not selling albums and being booked as often for concerts. So he and my 4 older siblings, I was born in '62, but they came back to America, to the center of the jazz universe, which he considered to be New York City. And in his very first performance, he performed at the Village Vanguard in Greenwich Village, New York City. And he played it in a venue that he had never not sold out. And he was shocked that people were talking over his music, and it wasn't sold out. And he had 2 sessions that evening, and he was befuddled. And he ran across the street to his good friend Miles Davis, who was playing at a different jazz venue. And he said, "Miles, what is going on? People aren't listening to me. What's happening?" He goes, "Stan, the music has changed. You have to play, you know, fast and show your skills and do 10-minute solos. And it's a very complicated kind of a jazz that one day I'll be grown up enough to understand, but I don't like it, and I don't understand it really." But he liked to play not one note too many or one note too few. He was liked to play harmonically and beautifully and without ego. And so my father had a choice. He to either play the current trend, which the record label executives and his peers like Mile and Coltrane, they all were saying to play like, or to go a different direction. And so he made the choice to do an album first called Focus, which is his favorite album that he ever made, but it was a combination of classical music and jazz. And every day he would run to the newsstands to see how high it would go on the Billboard charts, but it didn't go as high as he wanted. It wasn't as commercially successful. And then a friend of his called Charlie Bird came to him, a wonderful guitar player, and said, I've just been in South America and I've heard this lovely music in South America. Will you listen to it? My dad listened and he thought, it's pretty. He didn't think anything more or less. There's many stories that he knew it was going to be a hit. He didn't. That's not true. He thought it was pretty. And Charlie asked him, will you please make an album with me? And my dad said, I'm not doing anything else. What the hell? I said, I'm going to give you 1 day. So my dad agreed to fly from our home in New York down to Washington, D.C., and they made the album. You know, my dad didn't like to do second takes. He wanted the music to be fresh. So he said, you better have your A game because I'm out of there. I want to sleep in my own bed at night. And so he made the album in 1 day. That was called Jazz Samba, which was the inspiration for the next one, which was this album. So I can't go on too long, but I will just say that after the success of Jazz Samba, it won the Grammys in every category, in the jazz category only. The record label executives think, well, what if we put the Yankees together? We get the best in South America, João Gilberto and Antonio Carlos Jobim and Stan. And sometimes on paper that can work, but the chemistry may not be there. But they didn't understand each other. My dad didn't speak Portuguese, and João didn't speak a lick of English, but musically they meshed. And they made this album not in 1 day, but in a very short amount of time, which happens, I think, a lot when there's such beautiful chemistry. So that created this. And I'll just say one last thing. My mother, who's not famous, but she was a woman ahead of her time, and behind the scenes, she knew the potential of this. And this album, which is considered one of the top albums of all times, it sat in mothballs because the record label executives thought, oh, the bossa nova music era has passed, and play some rock and roll, Stan. And he didn't. So for 13 months it sat unreleased, and my mother went behind these record label executives' backs and gave the album to pickers. And pickers are they're like jockeys, radio jockeys. They're the assistants to the jockeys. And there's a lot more to the story, but eventually, one by one, San Francisco, Cleveland, St. Louis, each city became #1 until finally they released this album. So it was made in 1963, but it won Album of the Year, not in the jazz category, but in the pop category. It beat the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. So this isn't beating Taylor Swift and Mumford & Son. This is beating the best. And so this is how it came to pass. So if you'd like to hear more, I'll be back at 4 o'clock. I get to answer questions. And but I'd like you to listen to it. And thank you for hearing my story.
Thank you.
Vamos para a praia, não esquece a sandália e se olha pro céu. Se pudesse organizava a estrela. Se a casa está vazia, te ver crescer me faz tão feliz saber que você é você.